Have you ever felt like someone might secretly have deep feelings for you, but they never quite dared to say it? What if love could hide in the smallest gestures, stolen glances, or subtle actions that speak volumes without a single word? It's not always about grand confessions or dramatic declarations. Sometimes, love reveals itself in the quietest moments. In this video, we're diving deep into the 8 most obvious signs that someone might be loving you in silence. Whether they've never expressed it openly, or perhaps aren't even fully aware of their feelings, love always leaves subtle clues if you know how to spot them. You may discover someone in your life who cares for you more than you imagine, but just hasn't found the words yet. By the end of this video, you'll not only learn how to identify these signs, but also understand why they might be too afraid to admit their love. We'll explore everything from how they mirror your actions to the way they listen to you more intently than anyone else. You'll find out why some people pull away at the wrong times, or why they remember small details about you that most would forget. If you're curious about someone in your life, or have ever wondered if they might feel more for you than they're letting on, this video will reveal the hidden truths. Stick around until the end, because love often speaks when we least expect it. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please click the subscribe button and ring the notification bell to stay updated on all our latest content. 1. They copy you without realizing it. Have you ever noticed someone beginning to echo your words, subtly mirroring the way you move, or even adapting their tastes to be more aligned with yours? It might seem like an innocent or unintentional act at first, perhaps even a little amusing, but there is something much deeper at play here. When someone starts to imitate you without realizing it, it's not just a simple act of mimicry, it's a profound, emotional connection taking root. You may catch them using phrases or expressions you frequently use, or perhaps adopting your posture and body language as though your presence has become a guiding influence in their life. And when you observe them gradually shifting their preferences to mirror yours, whether it's your taste in music, food, or even the way you approach situations, there's no denying the invisible thread of affection and attraction that binds you together. This phenomenon, often referred to as mirroring, is more than just a subconscious behavior. It's a powerful, instinctive response that reveals a deep emotional investment. It's an undeniable sign that someone feels a strong connection to you, one that is not driven by words or grand gestures, but by something far more subtle and intimate. It's as if, without even knowing it, they are attempting to align themselves with you to become a reflection of who you are. Their mind and heart are so drawn to you that they are naturally incorporating pieces of your behavior into their own. If they can't help themselves, there's a magnetic pull that draws them closer, and this pull manifests in the way they start to unconsciously replicate your actions. I've always believed that love, in its truest form, is often the quietest and most profound connection we can share with another person. It's not always about loud declarations or grand acts. It's about the small, tender moments that speak volumes without ever saying a word. When someone mirrors your actions, when they absorb your words, your body language, and even your preferences, it's a clear indication that they are emotionally intertwined with you. They are creating a bond that goes beyond the surface, one that speaks to the heart, where even the tiniest details matter. It's truly fascinating to witness this kind of connection unfold. The human brain, as complex and unpredictable as it is, tends to replicate the behaviors of those it holds a deep affection for. It's almost as if, without intending to, they're trying to communicate through actions rather than words. They are subconsciously seeking to be closer to you, to understand you more, and to share in the way you experience the world. And in these moments, they don't need to say a word, they're telling you everything through their actions. And while they may not realize it, these subtle imitations are their way of showing affection, of wanting to be a part of your life in a deeper, more meaningful way. There is something so profoundly beautiful about the way love manifests in these small, unconscious gestures. It's a powerful reminder that love is not always about what we say, but about what we do, the small details that reveal just how much someone cares. So, the next time you notice someone mirroring your behavior, whether it's something as simple as how they laugh at your jokes or the way they adopt your mannerisms, remember this. It's not a coincidence. It's a beautiful, silent way of saying, I care. It's an emotional connection, unspoken yet so incredibly strong. It's the quiet bond between two people, and it's a sign that love is closer than you may have ever realized. 2. They pull away at the wrong times. It may seem paradoxical, even confusing, but one of the most profound signs that someone secretly loves you is that they often pull away at the moments when they should be getting closer. Have you ever noticed someone acting distant when you thought they would be more engaged? Or maybe they suddenly avoid you when you're surrounded by others. It's almost like they're trying to create space when all you want is to draw them nearer. It's as if they change the subject when feelings are mentioned, or maybe they act awkwardly when another person shows interest in you. These moments may leave you feeling puzzled and uncertain, but what's happening beneath the surface is much more complex and deeply emotional. The truth is, their affection for you is so intense, so overwhelming, that it causes a deep sense of insecurity and fear. They're so afraid of being vulnerable, of exposing their true feelings, that they retreat at the very time they should be stepping forward. This emotional push and pull is not an indication of a lack of interest. Quite the opposite. It's a sign of how strong their feelings are. When someone secretly loves you, they may not feel ready to admit it, and the thought of revealing their true emotions can feel terrifying. The very intensity of their feelings scares them, and so they retreat. It's their way of protecting themselves from the potential pain of rejection, from the fear of not having their feelings returned, or from losing control over their emotions. It's important to understand that their pulling away is not about you, it's about their internal conflict. They are torn between wanting to be close to you, to share their heart, and the crippling fear of being exposed or vulnerable. It's their form of self-defense, a shield they put up to guard their emotions from the world. But, ironically, the more they try to push you away, the more obvious their feelings become. Their behavior starts to reveal the truth, even if they don't realize it. The more they try to suppress their love, the more their actions speak louder than words ever could. I've seen it countless times. Someone who is too afraid to show their heart, who ends up unintentionally revealing everything by pulling away. It's a strange irony. By trying to protect themselves, they only highlight how deeply they care. Their behavior becomes a contradiction, but it's this very contradiction that exposes their true feelings. And though it may be frustrating or even hurtful to experience this kind of emotional roller coaster, remember this: their pulling away is just a sign of how real and deep their emotions are. They may not be ready to face the truth, but their actions are a clear reflection of a love they can't yet bring themselves to express openly. So, next time someone seems distant when they should be close, instead of seeing it as rejection, try to understand it for what it truly is: a vulnerable heart, trying to protect itself from the fear of falling too deep. And remember, sometimes the ones who pull away the most are the ones who love you the hardest. 3. They play little pranks or unusual jokes. Sometimes love hides behind a playful mask, and the deeper the feelings, the more subtle and unexpected the expressions of affection can be. Have you ever noticed someone constantly teasing you or making little jokes that seem random or even a bit provocative? At first glance, it might just seem like part of their personality, or maybe even a way to keep the mood light, but there's often more behind it than meets the eye. Repressed love, the kind that isn't openly acknowledged, often finds its way into the world in strange, unexpected forms. Instead of straightforward declarations of affection, it often shows itself through playful teasing, harmless pranks, or little games that may seem to come out of nowhere. These behaviors aren't just random acts of humor. They are, in fact, deeply connected to how they feel about you. If someone constantly finds ways to provoke or tease you playfully, it's more than just a quirky part of their personality. In reality, they may be trying to maintain a connection with you without putting themselves at emotional risk. It's like they're testing the waters, keeping the interaction going, but in a way that doesn't expose their true feelings. These little gestures, often mischievous or childish, are their way of staying close to you, of creating an emotional connection that isn't immediately obvious to anyone else. They want to be near you, to keep the bond alive, but they're not ready to show their hand completely. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons helpful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. What's so fascinating about these small, almost silly behaviors is how much they reveal about the depth of their emotions. The desire to interact with you is so strong, so intense, that it doesn't come out as romantic gestures or deep conversations, but as playful, sometimes irritating little acts. These jokes, these pranks, they serve as a bridge, allowing them to stay in your orbit without revealing too much. It's their way of showing they care without the vulnerability that comes with openly declaring it. I've always believed that the most genuine expressions of love are sometimes the ones that go unnoticed, hidden behind the veil of humor or harmless games. The ones who feel this intense, unspoken attraction may not feel comfortable or ready to express it directly, so they use these small, almost childlike gestures to create a connection. It's as if they're saying, "I'm here, I want to be close to you, but I'm not yet ready to let my emotions spill out completely." So, if you find yourself the target of playful pranks or teasing that doesn't seem to make much sense, consider it as a sign of something deeper. It's their way of staying connected to you, of expressing their desire to be near you, without having to say it aloud. Sometimes, the sweetest gestures are the ones that hide behind a joke, a playful comment, or an unexpected prank. 4. They remember moments you have forgotten. There's a unique kind of magic in the way someone who truly cares for you listens, not just to your words, but to the essence of what you say. Have you ever had someone mention a small detail from a conversation you had long ago, something you thought was insignificant at the time, but to them, it was something they held on to, treasured even? Maybe it was a book you casually mentioned enjoying, or a song that struck a chord with you, or a fleeting experience you shared that seemed like just another moment in time. And yet, weeks, months, or even years later, they bring it up again as if it's something that stayed with them all this time. In those moments, it's hard to deny the deeper meaning behind their words. They've remembered something you had forgotten, but to them, it was important enough to hold on to. This ability to recall seemingly small details is one of the clearest and most heartfelt signs of hidden love. It's not just about having a good memory. It's about showing that everything you say, every thought you share, holds a special place in their heart. When someone truly loves you, they don't just hear your words, they absorb them. Every sentence, every story, every little fact about you becomes a precious part of their world. It's as if they've catalogued every moment, every piece of information, not because they want to impress you, but because your words, your thoughts, and your experiences matter to them in a way that no one else would. I've always felt that when someone remembers these tiny, often overlooked details, it's a profound reflection of how deeply they are connected to you. It's a sign that they don't just care about the big moments in your life, but also the quiet, intimate things that make you who you are. To them, your favorite book, the song that moves you, or the way you describe an experience isn't just trivia, it's something they cherish, something they'll hold on to, and keep close to their heart. In a world where people can sometimes forget even the most important details, having someone who remembers the little things shows that they are emotionally invested in you on a truly rare level. It speaks to the depth of their feelings and their desire to understand you fully, even the parts of you that others might overlook. It's as if every word you speak weights it, a significance that only someone who truly cares can recognize. And when they bring up something you thought was long forgotten, it's their way of saying, I hear you, I see you, and I value you more than you can imagine. So, when someone remembers those seemingly trivial moments, the ones that slipped from your mind, consider it a beautiful reminder of how deeply they care for you. To them, even the smallest details are worthy of attention, and that's a sign of love that speaks volumes without a single word being said. 5. They notice you when no one is looking. There's something deeply intimate and powerful about a look, the kind of look that isn't meant to be seen, the one that sneaks in when you least expect it. Have you ever caught someone staring at you when you thought you were unnoticed, when your attention was elsewhere, lost in a conversation, or absorbed in your thoughts? It's a look that isn't meant to be direct or overt, but rather a quiet observation that says more than words ever could. It's the kind of glance that happens when you're distracted, when you're not actively looking for it. And in that moment, you might sense the weight of it, even without fully realizing why. This furtive gaze, often unnoticed by others, is one of the most powerful signs of secret love. It's not a casual, idle glance. It's a look filled with emotion, with longing, and sometimes with a trace of pain. They are watching you, not just with their eyes, but with a deep emotional intensity that they can't or won't express openly. The desire to observe you, to capture every fleeting moment of who you are, becomes almost hypnotic for them. In those stolen moments, they are absorbing everything about you, the way you move, the way you speak, the subtle shifts in your expressions. It's as if they are trying to memorize every part of you without you ever knowing. I believe there's a certain vulnerability in this kind of secret love, a silent surrender to the emotions that can't be voiced. When someone looks at you in this way, it's not just about physical attraction. It's about a deep, unspoken connection that transcends what can be shared in words. Their eyes speak volumes, telling you everything that their voice can't bring itself to say. It's a beautiful kind of love, one that doesn't need to be declared loudly or dramatically. It speaks quietly, through their gaze, through the way they take you in, savoring every aspect of who you are, even when they're unsure if you'll ever see it. And what's so powerful about this hidden love is that it's often so transparent. While they may try to mask their feelings, their eyes betray them. You may never hear them confess their love, but their gaze says it all. In those quiet moments when you're lost in your world, they are watching you, savoring you in ways that words could never capture. It's a look that lingers, one that leaves an indelible impression on your heart, even if you never know it's there. So, the next time you feel someone's eyes on you when you least expect it, take a moment to appreciate the power of that silent gaze. It's one of the most genuine signs of secret love, the kind of love that doesn't need to shout, because it speaks volumes just through a look. 6. They listen to you more carefully than necessary. Listening is more than just hearing words. It's an art form, one that very few truly master. And those who secretly love you, they are absolute experts at it. While most people listen to respond, those who harbor deep affection for you listen with the intent to truly understand. Every word you say, every pause in your voice, every tiny inflection becomes important to them. They don't just catch your words, they absorb the feelings behind them. They're the ones who pay close attention, not just to the surface level of what you say, but to the emotional undertones that lie beneath. They hear what you don't say just as clearly as they hear the words you speak. Think about it for a moment. Have you ever said something in passing, only for them to bring it up again later, as if they'd been holding on to it, thinking about it long after the conversation ended? Or maybe they can tell, just by the way you speak, when something's weighing heavily on your heart, even if you haven't said a word about it. They recognize the little shifts in your tone, the small changes in your demeanor, and they know instinctively that something isn't quite right, even before you admit it to yourself. These are the people who can tell when you're smiling just to hide a sad thought, or when you're pretending to be fine while the weight of the world is bearing down on you. It's like they have a sixth sense when it comes to your emotional state. They don't need you to spell it out for them. They already know. I believe this kind of listening is one of the most powerful forms of love. It's a love that's fully present, deeply engaged in understanding every part of you, even the parts you keep hidden. They aren't just waiting for their turn to speak. They're holding space for your words, paying attention to your silences, and absorbing everything you share, no matter how small or fleeting. When someone listens to you like this, when they take the time to hear you, you can't help but feel valued, understood, and cared for on an unmatched level. It's in the way they anticipate your needs before you even realize them, how they offer comfort without needing any explanation, and how they always seem to know exactly what to say to put your mind at ease. This is the essence of secret love. It's not about grand gestures or loud proclamations, but in the quiet, tender moments when they show up for you in ways that only someone who truly loves you would. Their listening is never shallow or dismissive. Every word you speak holds weight for them because, to them, you matter. Every conversation, every story you share becomes a thread that binds them closer to you, and they hold onto it, cherishing it long after you've moved on. When someone listens to you in this way, they are telling you without words, I see you, I hear you, and I care about you in a way that goes beyond what you can say aloud. It's a beautiful, quiet expression of love, and it's something you'll feel deeply, even if it's never spoken directly. So, next time you talk to someone who listens to you with that kind of presence, know that it's a rare and precious gift. It's a reflection of how deeply they care and how much they want to be there for you in every way. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons helpful, please comment number 2 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. 7. They behave differently with you than with others. One of the most undeniable signs that someone has hidden feelings for you is the way their behavior shifts when they're around you. It can be incredibly subtle, yet deeply revealing. If you've ever noticed someone who is usually sociable, easygoing and relaxed with others, but becomes unexpectedly more serious, reserved, or even slightly anxious when it's just the two of you, it's not just a coincidence. On the other hand, if they're usually more reserved with others, but suddenly become more open, cheerful, or even playful with you, that's another clear indicator that something deeper is at play. These changes in behavior are often one of the most obvious signs of a hidden affection that they're struggling to hide. Perhaps they're spontaneous and carefree with everyone else, but when they're around you, they seem to carefully select their words, almost as if they're afraid of saying the wrong thing or accidentally revealing too much. It's as if every word carries weight when they're speaking to you, and they become more aware of how they come across. Or maybe they seek your gaze in a crowded room, trying to catch your eye, but when they do, they suddenly seem distracted, almost as if they want to look away, before you catch on to the emotions they can't quite control. This behavior change can manifest in many different ways. They might become more fidgety or nervous in your presence, doing their best to remain composed, even though you can sense that something is bubbling beneath the surface. They might pay extra attention to the smallest details when you speak, nodding more intently or remembering things that others might overlook. Or perhaps they try to stay closer to you than others, sitting near you, engaging in subtle actions that keep you near, but always in a way that doesn't seem too obvious to anyone else. In many ways, it's as if their subconscious is pulling them toward you, urging them to interact with you differently, because the connection they feel is unlike anything they have with anyone else. They might not even fully understand why they're behaving this way, but something about your presence makes them shift, makes them feel both drawn to you and uncertain about how to handle the emotions that are slowly taking root in their heart. The bond they feel with you is unique and special, and it brings out a different side of them, one that they might not even be fully ready to express yet. I've always believed that love, in its rawest form, can't help but alter the way we act around those we care about deeply. Even when we try to hide it, our true feelings leak through in the most unexpected ways. So, if you've noticed that someone behaves differently around you, be it more nervous, more attentive, or even just a little bit more open than they are with others, there's likely something more there than meets the eye. It's a beautiful reminder that love is often expressed in the way we act, even when we don't dare to say it aloud. When someone shifts their behavior around you, it's a reflection of how much they care and how deeply they are impacted by your presence in their life. 8. They care about your well-being in subtle ways. True love doesn't always shout from the rooftops. Some of the most genuine forms of love are the quiet, almost unnoticed gestures that happen in the background. When someone truly loves you, they don't need grand gestures or extravagant displays to show it. Instead, they show their love in the smallest details, the moments that go unnoticed by others but mean the world to you. They'll be the ones who ask if you've eaten, even when it's just a passing question. They'll notice when you're tired, even before you say a word, and offer help or a comforting gesture without you ever having to ask for it. These small acts may seem insignificant to the casual observer, but to the one who loves you in silence, they are the most authentic expressions of their feelings. In a world where people often expect big declarations or dramatic gestures, it's these understated acts of care that truly reveal the depth of someone's affection. They don't try to impress you or win you over with over-the-top displays. Instead, they quietly make sure that you're okay, checking in on you in ways that might seem small but are deeply meaningful. They don't need to tell you that they care because their actions speak volumes. They notice the little things, the way you're feeling, the way you're acting, even when you try to hide it, and they respond with kindness without expecting anything in return. This is love in its purest form. I've always believed that the most beautiful love doesn't need to be loudly proclaimed. Instead, it's found in the everyday moments, the simple, often overlooked acts of kindness that make you feel safe, cared for, and seen. When someone truly loves you, your well-being becomes their priority. They may not always say it out loud, but they show it in every action. Whether it's offering a hand when you're struggling, making sure you've had something to eat, or offering comfort when you're stressed, they're always there, taking care of you in ways that feel like a natural extension of their love. What's so powerful about these subtle gestures is that they often go unnoticed, but they're the ones that truly matter. Love is not always about the big declarations or the flashy moments. It's about the quiet, everyday acts of care and concern that weave the deepest bonds between people. So, the next time someone checks in on you without being asked, or notices when something is off and offers help without hesitation, recognize that these small gestures are a reflection of something much deeper. It's a sign of love that doesn't need to be spoken, but is instead quietly and beautifully felt in the most meaningful ways. As we wrap up today's video, I hope you've gained some valuable insights into how hidden love often shows itself in the most subtle, beautiful ways. From the way someone mirrors your actions, to the quiet gestures of care, and the unspoken looks that say more than words ever could, love has a way of revealing itself that goes beyond what's visible on the surface. So, what have you learned so far? Have you noticed any of these signs in someone you care about, or maybe even in yourself? Take a moment to reflect on one thing you've learned today that you feel inspired to bring into your life. What will you take away from these signs and apply them to your relationships? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please share one thing you've learned and plan to practice in your life in the comments below. And if you like this video, don't forget to leave your comment, like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more insightful content like this. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.